know what? I don't have homework today. I'm bored. Let's make another video. Here's my top 10 tearjerkers video because I typically am a book crier and a movie crier, or just a really emotional person when it comes to that. I don't always cry. And some of these I didn't actually cry, but you know, most of them I did. And I want to go ahead and say a few things. They're going to be spoilers in this video, mainly because of I would cry at like a death or something, but I will tell you before I say the spoiler and give you a second or two to mute the screen, and then you can come back. And also in the description, I'm going to try, I'm not sure how many characters or like letters you can have in the description, but I'm going to try and put in each of the times that I talk about it so you can just do that. So that's what I'm going to do, so you can still watch this video even if you haven't read the books. Also, I did not put The Fault in Our Stars or This Star Won't Go Out by Esther Earl on this list because that is obvious. If you didn't cry, I'm going to need to know why. Excuse me while I text. Alright, so here we go. So you guys know, let's just establish that Tifios was miserable. You guys know that? Alright. So, the first book that I cried in a while is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. Go ahead and pause the screen now. Whenever I give you a thumbs up, you are safe to come back. Whenever I do this, the spoilers are over. So, mute it now. Okay, here we go. Whenever Luke died, I did cry. I was in English class, actually, when it happened, and we were doing, I don't know if you guys know what AR is. It's like accelerated reader. It's kind of like testing and stuff for reading, and they gave us some time to read. So I was sitting there, and I just didn't see it coming. I feel like if I had saw it coming, it wouldn't have been that bad, but I had no idea what was going to happen. So it happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I know that Luke was bad, and we didn't like him, and blah, 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 but I loved Luke. He was a good bad guy. And then his discussion with Annabeth, he's like dying. Annabeth, did you ever love me? And then he's like, and she's like, nope, no, you're a brother, never loved you. So that was kind of interesting, but that made me cry because I'm like, oh, how sad. And just the entire thing, because I thought it was over. I didn't know there was a Heroes of Olympus series, so I thought this was it. Okay. Alright, you guys are safe to come back. I am done talking about The Last Olympian. The next book that made me cry on this list is The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. Go ahead and pause now, or go ahead and mute now. Whenever I give you a thumbs up, you're safe to come back. So, now. Okay. You know why. You know exactly why. They fell into Tartarus together. Percy said, I'm not letting you go. No, as long as we're together, it doesn't matter. We can survive heck together. We can survive fighting monsters. I'm gonna fall into this pit with you. Oh my god, and then pretty much I just cried because I was like, a year? Really? A year? A year? Well, actually at this time it was more like 6 or 7 months, but still, that's a long time. That, seriously, it was so emotional, so. You guys back yet? Alrighty. The next book, I'm done talking about Mark of Athena. The next book that I would like to show you is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Everyone has read this book, but if you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and mute it now. You're safe to come back when I give a thumbs up. Okay, all spoiler people gone? Alright. When Finnick died, a part of my heart literally crumbled into thousands and thousands of pieces. And it still has not reformed, and I read this a very, very long time ago. Prim. Whenever Prim died, I was sad, but I was mainly mad. I'm like, come on, she's the reason any of this happened. She's the reason that Katniss volunteered, that it was her. I mean, everything. That was her. So, it was all her, but when Finnick dying truly was one of the saddest deaths I've ever experienced. Maybe in the top 3. I don't know. That was horrifically bad, though. So, Mockingjay, and then I was just sad because it was over, and then they got married, and they had babies, and then Peeta was planting some bushes outside their house, and then she's like, what is that? And he says, primroses, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Hello. Done with Mockingjay. Okay, the next book is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and, you know, I'm about to spoil you, so go ahead and mute. Alright. this wasn't one of those cries when I was just sobbing and sobbing. It was mainly an internal thing where I was just sitting there like, oh my gosh, this is so horrible, this is so sad, why? I was mainly tearing up at how horrible Mara felt for something that wasn't her fault, about them dying in the, about Rachel and Claire and Jude dying in the thing, in the little wreck, or well, accident, I don't know what to call it. But that was mainly just like, oh my gosh, she feels bad and it wasn't her fault. You know, that's just survivor's guilt. That's a psychological disorder. So, I mean, I can understand where she's coming from. But I was just feeling bad for her was why I was crying. Alright, done about Mara Dyer. Next book is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Go ahead and mute now. You're safe to come back when I give a thumbs up. So, I was in class, so I didn't actually cry as bad as I could have, I feel like. Whenever, wait, what was his name? Was it Dally? Because, see, I've read The Maze Runner, and there's Dally. Oh, good grief. I honestly don't know. The guy in the movie who, I don't even know his name. What is his name? I do not know what his name. Okay, I'm going with Dally. He's the one who got shot by the cop at the end. That was sad because he was my favorite character, so I'm going to stop having favorite characters because they keep dying. But also when Johnny died, that was so sad. But this was an overall really emotional book. Most of the time I was kind of like, oh, everyone. So, I don't know. Alright, done with The Outsiders. The next book is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Before I get into spoilers, I love this book. I really think you should go read it. Okay, spoilers starting now. Okay. This ending. I was mainly mad, like, how stupid can you be? People on different floors of the building, and you still burned it down. Why? And then the dog's dying. I don't really like dogs, but it was still sad anyway. And then, like, poor Cadence. Oh my gosh! She thought they were real the whole time and they were fake. I just felt like crap for her. That was so sad. This is an emotional book, so, you know. Done with We Were Liars. Now I'm moving on to The One by Kira Cass, and I read this while I was babysitting. I finished it while I was babysitting, so that was nice. But I mainly cried because this actually, I did cry. I wasn't crying like really hard or like, oh my gosh, just like tears coming down my eyes with an overwhelming sense of sadness. But like, I mainly cried of frustration too, because I'm like, who is it? Who was the second runner-up? What was her face? Kirsten? Does it start with a K? Am I even on the right track? Wow. Oh my god, in the last line, he asks her to marry him, and the last word is literally yes, and I was like, and then the epilogue. It was so sweet, the little epilogue. Oh my gosh, this series is just so sweet, and it was just heartbreaking and emotional and sweet and perfect. Alright. Done with The One. Now I'm on to The Giver by Lois Lowry. I read this in 3 hours, so I didn't have all that much time to cry. And it was mainly just an internal sense of, oh, and then the occasional couple tears. Whenever they were talking about Gabe, and whenever, the main part, I cried in the movie, almost. Like, I was, like, trying to keep it in, because that'd be embarrassing, because public, but they're so lost. They don't know anything. The line in the movie that just killed me was whenever he's talking to Gabe, Jonas is like whispering and he's like, this isn't a hippo, this is an elephant, and once they were real and it was beautiful. And I was like, you don't know anything, I'm so sorry. Just that, this is a book that just makes you think, so of course it's going to be a little bit sad, but you know, it's still fantastic. Alright, now we're on to The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Go ahead and pause now, please. Alright, so I finished this in psychology class. I had no idea that Gatsby died. I did not think that that was going to happen, because why would that happen? That's not very nice to kill off, you know, Gatsby. It was just kind of like, come on, man. But I was sitting there like, and people next to me, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, book. So, just Gatsby died pretty much was it. That was sad. Alright, and the last book that made me cry like an animal, or at least one that made me cry like an animal, is The Death Cure by James Dashner. I posted my review on this. You guys saw me ranting and almost crying in the review, and I told you the story of where I finished this, how I finished this, but I'm sorry, go ahead and pause now. Whenever Newt died, I don't even have words for it. I don't even have words. When Teresa died, I was just like, why? Why? And then I was so mad because I like Brenda, but I don't want her with Thomas, and I was just like, come on, why? But literally, Newt, and then, like, we never got their memories back, and I'm reading the Kill Order right now, so I hope that fixes something. You never got their memories, and they don't know anything, and then Thomas, and he does it with Brenda, and then doesn't need to be with Brenda, and then Newt, that was the second or third hardest character death. Finnick and Gus, I would say. You guys have read Tiffy's, right? Okay, I'm so sorry if I just spoiled you. Alright, so those were all my tearjerkers. Tell me down below about what you cried at, if you cried in any of these, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.